Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between, I believe it's FXO mOOnGlade. I may be wrong, so I'll just call him mOOnGlade so I do not repeat my error time and time again. It is going to be between mOOnGlade versus mousesports' Mana here on Metalopolis, game 1 in a series. Should be a pretty interesting series here as we see Mana spawning as the green Protoss, meanwhile mOOnGlade spawning as the purple Zerg. So it is going to be Zerg versus Protoss here. I'm trying to get away from all the Terran matchups that I've had recently so you guys can see more and more of the different matchups, as we can now see a front door pylon being established, and now Mana doing an early scout. Is it going to be an ally check first? And it looks like, no, he was about to do an ally check and then realized, wait, nope, there's the Overlord. I see him. And now backing off here. So he's going to continue to mine in just a moment, perhaps get a chrono boost on that Nexus. There you go. As the probe now going to look to perhaps delay a hatchery if mOOnGlade does try to go for a hatchery first. Now, this is one of those questions that I've received a lot, and people are sending me emails like, as a Zerg, should you go hatchery first, extractor first, pool first? What's better? It's really determined by the matchup and also what you expect to do and what you want to do in the long run. You can see mOOnGlade definitely going for that extractor pool first, so he wants to get more map control as opposed to simply just trying to get a strong economy early in the game. He will benefit. He will have that queen early on, unlike in Brood War, where the only way that you can get additional larva is through another hatchery. That addition of that queen really opened up the number of builds that Zerg players can really do. I like this harassment by Mana. Mana came in, if you didn't see, he was mining at the mineral patches but never picked up any minerals, and by doing so, constantly delayed any drones, because the drones couldn't mine at the same time that probe did, and the probe would just go, okay, I don't really want any of those minerals, I just want to prevent you from being able to mine those minerals. We are going to have the extract or the spawning pool now up and running. The spawning pool already getting the metabolic boost, a queen now being trained, Zergling's going to be queued up as well, as the one probe down over here can't really do very much at all. Now Mana now getting up that early zealot will be able to wall off in this location here, and now both players are still running off of one base. Glade is getting in a lot of drones right now, so he's currently sitting on 16 drones, but he's not harvesting gas. And then one round of spawn larva will definitely help. As you can see, that probe was quickly taken down. In comes a hatchery, and 4 Zerglings with that metabolic boost will be able to shut down any early harassment that Mana would normally try to initiate or try to do at this time. Spawn larva already in play, and you can still see Glade not mining any gas. Looking into the base of Mana going into a double assimilator build, and with only one gateway so far, so I assume that the next unit will be trained out of here will be a sentry, and then perhaps getting 1 or 2 additional sentries. Wait, what is he going for? He is actually going for a gateway here. Is he going to go for a sentry? Yes, he is going to go for that sentry, as I imagined he would. Zergling not going to be able to do very much at all. Quickly getting destroyed and only taking some shield damage there. Interesting position on this pylon, though. Normally the pylon's positioned here to prevent any quick run by, as the Stalker now just trying to perhaps get some additional damage or trying to make sure that there are no Zerglings inside the base. A Zealot and a Stalker now trying to make their way in. A Sentry is also in position, and now Chrono boosting out another Sentry as well. Are we getting a Sentry over here? No, not quite yet. That gateway is not yet up. Queen already ready to take care of this hatchery. There's already a queen back at home. So Glade will be going up into that 20 larva per minute average in just a moment. But Glade is a little bit behind right now in terms of his economy. He does have these additional mineral patches to mine from, so he will be able to catch up. His tech is also behind, as he is not yet teching the tier 2. We can see Nexus currently being warped in, and oh, there is that pylon, and that poor probe just wanted to warp in. The Stalker's sentries decided to let that probe just rest in peace, as we are now getting only 2 gateways up. So the critical third building, the critical next building should really reveal what Mana is trying to go for. Is he going to continue to get more gateway units? Is he building up a strong economy, or is he going to continue to try to tech? The Overlord has not spotted that additional gateway yet, and will he spot it? I believe he saw perhaps a chrono boost. Yes, he did spot that warp gate, so nicely done there. being able to scout out in the right position. He did scout that additional warp gate, and now with 2 more gateways coming in on the low ground, in addition to another pylon, the Zerglings will not be able to run in at all. Glade's options at this point are pretty much to establish another hatchery here. I expect him to do so in the next couple of next minute or so, as Glade also moves out with these roaches. He's still not taking the tier 2. There are a lot of roaches. The problem is that there are no photon cannons here, and with only a large number of sentries, his army is not going to really be able to battle against these roaches. Zergling's now trying to swarm in as well. The roaches do move rather slow. A long distance spit shot from that roach, as the Zealots now deciding to back off once more. We definitely need to get a new round of Stalkers to warp in. Stalkers and Zealots may be warping in, but we are currently supply blocked by Glade right now. So Glade moving in with a 68 over 68. This is a 2-base timing attack with Roaches and Zerglings, and now getting in some damage onto those warp gates already. Zerglings not going to perhaps come in from the far side. This warp gate does have a lot of hit points. Will it get taken down? It looks like it will. And now in come those force fields. Roach now trying to engage this warp gate, desperately low on hit points. What will happen as in comes a Guardian Shield? Zergling's now trying to swarm in as well, reducing the amount of surface area. Zealot now getting taken down. Pylons, Zealots trying to engage, and Mana, it just with a lot of force fields down, but really unable to deal with this mass number of roaches so far. Sentries are very expensive units. Glade wants to trade roaches for sentries as much as possible. 1 photon cannon finally being warped in, and that was able to back off. Taking a look at the losses, Glade sitting at 1350 losses versus the losses of Mana at 1050. So a new sea of Zerglings may change all of that in just a moment. So this is not going to be no quick expansion after this. He is instead going to try to continue that pressure. Unable to get any damage off onto a sentry though. But the Zerglings may have another story, as the Zerglings may be able to cut off, and that may be a problem. More sentries casting more force fields, and more damage being dealt as more roaches still being added to this group. No macro hatch at all. Glade still sitting at tier 1 for Zerg, as we are now going into a robotics facility. We currently sitting on only 4 warp gates so far, and this warp gate may get taken down. That may be a bit of an issue there. That will open up that front door. Zerglings trying to push their way through, and down it goes. We may get another gateway to warp in there, but Glade really sacrificing a lot in order to just take down 1 warp gate. That wasn't that nice, and in comes some of those force fields. The roaches are now trying to surround. More units are warping in. Once again, the Zerglings are funneling in. And now Mana with a slightly smaller mineral army. This may be a bit of an issue here, as all the units are trying to back off. The roaches have a decent amount of damage. Zerglings now engaging, but there are photon cannons adding to this battle, making it a little bit more difficult. The sentries with superior range. And Glade once again backing off. Glade is really trying to press his advantage right now. We can see a macro hatch is being established. So yeah, this is just a 2-base push. And Mana, with only 4 warp gates, or 3 warp gates at this time, may not have enough to really truly defend this. You can see the large amount of minerals that mOOnGlade is still currently sitting on, as this warp gate taking more and more damage. A mortal will be able to pop out in just a moment. You can see those roaches just constantly spitting, and that damage, that warp gate may get taken down. And as soon as that warp gate is down, this is going to definitely hurt, as the units are now continuing to push in. And now perhaps trying to take down the Zealot and other units as well. Glade continuing his almost suicide run here. And with the Immortal now, the Immortal getting in so much damage that because of those roaches, Immortal's dealing 50 damage per pop. 37 damage a second. So a very, very large amount of damage. And now a second Immortal being added as well. So Immortals still being added, still being strengthened in this army composition, as we'll see what will be happening here. You can see that this macro hatch is about to be completed. The queen has enough energy to spawn larvae on both. So I believe in about another minute or so, about the 14-minute mark, there is going to be a very, very telling tale of how much damage can be dealt. You can see a Colossus is now warping in as well. There's only 1 warp gate, 2 warp gates left, 2 additional gateways trying to warp in, as the Roach is now trying to push in once more. And now a Photon Cannon may get destroyed. That 1 Photon Cannon down to 6 hit points. There it goes, as the Roaches are now once again backing off. More units need to be trained at that fort, or yeah, there you go. A sea of Zerglings now being queued up here, and now just more spawn larvae even further. Army compositions. Glade not relenting in his just a crazy push. However, without Burrow, these roaches are not able to regenerate their hit points, and now with a Colossus in the mix, that is going to be a very, very different story, as now the Colossus trying to push in, getting in a lot of damage onto those Zerglings. The roaches are trying to shut this down. It looks like an Immortal will get taken down. The Immortal already lost all of its hardened shields. Will it be enough to take it down? Zerglings now trying to swarm their way in, perhaps get some damage in the main base. Roaches continuing to push. The Zerg army is slightly larger. Here, the Colossus is on the high ground, now trying to finish off this one Immortal on the low ground. More Zerglings are warping in the Colossi. The probes were able to finish off all of those units, and now this Colossus and Immortal, will it be enough to finish down this Immortal? 83 hit points, now backing off once more. And Mana doing a great job of just stopping this attack, and I believe the pressure is starting to break as the tech advantage. Mana getting up 2 Colossi, a 3rd Colossi being added, extended thermal lance range as soon as that is completed. I think that is the beginning of the end. mOOnGlade needed to do a lot more damage in that battle, and he really didn't do so. He is now power droning, trying to transition perhaps into a different stage of the game so far. Zerglings now wandering around, making sure that there are no additional bases whatsoever. I kind of wish that this hatchery was over here so that mOOnGlade would have been able to use it as a macro hatch or use it as a 3rd base as well. More gateways now coming in. Extended thermal lance range about to be completed. And yeah, with 3 Colossi and an Observer being added, this is not good news at all. Army composition, you can see mOOnGlade more than 2,000 resources behind. So essentially 4 Colossi behind in units, and that is an absolutely huge number. Oh, poor probe got stuck right there trying to free up some food. And now you're going to see all of these Colossi continue to make their way out. There are going to be Zerglings over here that are just simply going to get toasted. No damage dealt at all. As you can see, all of those Zerglings just destroyed in a matter of seconds. Protoss ground armor level, curiously enough, now being researched as opposed to the weapons upgrade. I would assume that the weapons upgrade would be more important. Oh, Colossus already has it. So yeah, level 1 weapons upgrade on those Colossi, I think, are going to be even worse. Roaches are not upgraded at all. And now with an Observer in the air, the Observer will destroy all of these creep tumors. No home field advantage for mOOnGlade any longer. I do not... Oh, there's a proxy pylon here to warp in units as well. And now 3 Colossi continuing this push. Roach is now trying to engage. Guardian Shield is up. And the Colossi just going to stick to that high ground, finish off the Roaches, and mOOnGlade will simply have to say GG. There's no way he can get out of this. There you go. There's the GG. And Mana taking game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game between mOOnGlade and Mouse Mana here on Metalopolis Game 1, I believe, from IE. I think it's IEM. Hopefully it's IBM. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Game 2 is probably already loaded, so go ahead and click there.